here was just calling out to you and say howdy.
Sorry, we're going to attempt to see what's going on. I am going to attempt to join Ham Radio Net, one of the ones that have inspired me to set this up. It's going to be live. I have my ham radio patched in. The quality is what the quality is. And we'll do our best. I can't promise audio quality or anything like that. This is as live as it gets. Cool. So let's do it. Let me unmute that.
All right, we'll be doing the net shortly.
Mike, can you do me too? I'm leaving the house now. I won't be able to make it. NY2S.
You should be able to hear that.
Get your text, Tom.
Good net. You're heading over to the other meeting. NY2S clear.
The time is 6 p.m.
Okay. Okay, it's going to start shortly. I'm basically ready to go here. I have a whole bunch of experimental stuff going, but whatever. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if this works. I'm gonna type in everything. I've got my ham radio ready to go. It should start momentarily. It's supposed to start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard.
CQ. Good evening. This is the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. Calling all amateur radio stations. My call sign is Kilo Delta 4, Oscar Victor Papa. My name is Mike, and I'm located in Margate, and I'll be the net control station for this evening. This net meets Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. local time for the purpose of handling formal written traffic, announcing amateur radio events, delivering information on severe weather, providing training for new operators and net control stations, as well as assisting with emergency communications when needed. This is a directed net, so please follow the instructions of net control. Is there any emergency or priority traffic?
Something's going on with the repeater. Yeah, something's going on with the repeater, that's for sure.
Are there any NTS area or regional liaisons?
Nothing heard.
As liaison for the Florida Phone Traffic Net, I have no incoming traffic. I'm going to call short of time. We have 3 stations that are early check-ins for short of time. Acknowledging NY2S. Tom, we got you checked in. K9TJS, the other Tom, and N7BBE, Ben. All short of time, and you may secure as you need to. Are there any other stations short of time that would like to check in? Your call sign and name, please.
This is Kilo Mike 4 Gulf Charlie Lima. This is Reedham Pembroke Pines, short of time, no traffic.
This is Bravo 3, Alpha November Echo Portable, Hope in Pompano Beach. Short of time, Mike, but I'll be monitoring. Whiskey Bravo 3, Alpha November Echo.
All right, we got 2 more stations. First, recognizing Reed. Good evening to you.
He didn't realize the call sign.
Good evening, sir. I smoked sirloin last night, chopped it up, and made a chili of it, and had it slow cook all day. So I'm going to go get some with some cornbread. So and add to the number, so I'll send it back to the net. This is KM4GCL.
All right, Reed, thanks for checking in. Appreciate that. And you may secure as you need to. Next, recognizing WB3ANE. Good evening, Hope.
Good evening, Mike, and everybody else checking the net. Whiskey Bravo 3, Alpha November Echo. I'm doing pretty good tonight. I'm short of time, but I'll be monitoring. Whiskey Bravo 3, Alpha November Echo.
All right, Hope, thanks for checking in. Appreciate that. And any other stations checking in? Your call sign and name, please.
This is Kilo Quebec 4 Juliet X-Ray India, Ryan in Coral Springs.
This is Kilo 4 Bravo Hotel, Jeff in Parkland. They have announcements and no traffic. 4 Tango, Joe in Pompano Beach with no traffic.
All right, we got Kilo Quebec 4 Juliet X-Ray India. Ryan, good evening to you. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. Just, glad to be on the net, and hope everyone's doing well and enjoying the weather. Otherwise, back to net.
All right, thanks, Ryan, for checking in. K4BH, good evening. We didn't call for announcements yet, but that was next on the list, but we got you. Good evening, too. How are you?
I should have set it to announcement.
Oh, I'm doing okay, recovering from my procedure today. And, well, you didn't say not announcements. You just said anybody wishing to check in. I assumed that included me. So, anyway, I have the announcements whenever you're ready. K4VH, back to that.
That should have
All right, we'll look forward to that. Thanks, Jeff, for that. And X4T, Joe, good evening. And how are you doing?
And Mike, I'm doing fine. I hope all in the net are also doing fine. It's been a pleasant day, a little bit on the warm side. We're looking forward to field day this weekend. I'm going to pass it back to you, and hopefully Jeff will announce it as part of his announcements. I'll be here to answer any possible, or help answer any possible questions that might come up. NX4T, back to KD4OVT. Boy, I like your other call better.
Well, I just didn't like having the two call because everybody kept thinking I was from up north. All right, well, thanks, Joe. Yeah, we'll probably hear some more information on that in the announcements. All right, let's see if there's any stations that are mobile, handheld, or portable that would like to check in. Your call sign and name, please.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Tango Papa Uniform Bill in Pompano Beach.
Recognizing KE8TPU. Good evening, Bill. How are you?
Oh, checking in and held is no wreck, Mike. Good evening, Mike, and everybody on the
There's a
net.
double.
Hope you're doing well. Mike, as always, thanks for doing the net. KE8TPU, back to net.
Bill, well, thanks for checking in. We appreciate everybody that checks in, and we're glad to be able to do the net. Thanks, Bill. Anyone else, mobile, handheld, or portable, that would like to check in? Your call sign and name, please.
This is
Oscar 4, Tango November Delta, KO 4 TND, showing no parts, no traffic.
This is Alpha Juliet 4, Juliet Golf, QIA Hestimum, checking in, no traffic. Mike, it's held.
Down from the trees. All right, we also have our other bill. Wow, that's interesting. We got 2 Toms and 2 Bills on tonight's roster. Bill KO4TND, good evening. How are you?
I really missed that one. KO4TND.
Well, Mike, thanks for having me. Just adding one to the numbers. Hope everybody had a good day and a good evening. This is KO4 TND back in so.
You see, it's barely coming up over the noise floor sometimes.
As always, Bill for checking in. And AJ4JG, Half Moon, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Mike. Good evening to you and good evening to everybody on the net. Nothing to report. Just enjoy this beautiful day in the paradise. A lot of wind over here. Beautiful beach, sunset.
Oh, that's horrible.
So good evening to all. AJ4JT back to the Kilo Echo 4 Oscar Victor Papa.
Didn't get it right again. You're getting close, but it's Kilo Delta 4.
Oscar Victor Papa.
Oscar Victor Papa. But you're getting there. Keep at it, Half Moon. You'll get it right. All right, thanks for checking in. Appreciate that. All right, let's see. Anyone else, mobile, handheld, or portable, that would like to check in? This is the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. This is Kilo Delta 4, Oscar Victor Papa.
This is
Here we go.
Kilo Quebec 4, Alpha Yankee Hotel, Gary in Fort Lauderdale. No traffic to the net.
Oh, I don't know what you did, but you were barely readable when you were saying hello to Tom before, but now you're crystal clear. Good evening, Gary. Kilo Quebec 4, Alpha Yankee Hotel.
Well, that's the difference between a 5-watt handheld and a 50-watt base station with an antenna sky high. We're doing okay. We're tired. Having a lot of health problems, but other than that, we're okay. Trying to regain some strength. And maybe we'll see you this weekend. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Other than that, back to NetControl, KQ4AYH.
All right, thanks, Gary, for checking in. Yeah, I will be there, so I'm sure you'll catch up there with everybody. All right, let's go ahead and see if there's any stations now with or without traffic that would like to check in to the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. Your call sign and name, please.
November 3 Hotel Papa Romeo. The name is Tom and Tamarack. No traffic.
This is Kilo Bravo 1, Echo Romeo Whiskey, over. Call free, no traffic.
All right, we got 2 stations. We have N3HPR, which rounds out all our toms, and we got all of our toms on here. Good evening, Tom. How are you?
Well, good evening, Mike. Members of the net this evening. Yeah, as Half Moon said, it was a gorgeous day in paradise. My wife and I spent quite a bit of time working on our boat, getting it ready to be launched and used as we're going to be taking a little trip. So with that, we'll say good evening to all, and thanks for doing the net, Mike. N3HPR.
All right, and I guess there's a song to that. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale. All right, thanks, Tom, for checking in. KB1 ERW. Good evening. How are you?
National Mike and all on the net. We're doing pretty good, and we're hoping that we can make this weekend event, and we'll be on the side, hoping to see some of you guys. We'll be on the side.
Oh, that's horrible.
All right, thanks, Silva, for checking in. Appreciate that. Wow, we got a good group here today. Anyone else with or without traffic before we go to announcements, and then we'll see if there's anyone else after the announcements that would like to check in. But in the meantime, before we do that, before we do announcements, is there anyone that would like to check in to the Southeast Florida Traffic Net? Your call sign and name, please.
Wow.
Kilo Oscar 4, Sierra Yankee Uniform, Dan in Sunrise, KO4 SYU, no traffic.
All right, Dan, you don't have to talk that loud. I can hear you. I may be a little hard of hearing, but I'm not totally hard of hearing. Good evening, Dan. KO4 SYU, how are you?
Mike, forgive me on that. I just put a fan on my radio here because it gets really warm after when I talk too much on it. So I guess I'm overcompensating for that fan. And I have a question for you guys. Do you know what mode and frequency you'll be monitoring for the 2-meter simplex this weekend? Back to net, KO4 SYU.
I'm going to refer that to Jeff, K4BH. We did talk about that yesterday on the net, and I'm going to if you actually stand by, I'm going to go to Jeff for announcements in just a moment, and I'll let him explain the frequencies that will be for field day. All right. In the meantime, thanks, Dan, for checking in, and let's actually do that right now. Jeff, if you can answer Dan's question there, his query, and with that, we'll go to you for announcements. This is the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. This is Kilo Delta 4, Oscar Victor Papa.
Okay, thank you, Mike. KD4VP in the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. It's K4BH. Good evening, everybody on the net. Well, first we'll do the routine announcements, and we'll start talking about field day. Coming up this weekend, of course, is field day, Saturday and Sunday. Contest starts at 2 on Saturday, ends at 2 on Sunday. We will be there at about 8 o'clock in the morning starting to set up, and we hopefully will be clear by 4 in the afternoon on Sunday. So we do need people to help set up, help tear down, and to operate. So everybody's welcome. Come on in, and there's also going to be food there, so that might affect your decision. We do ask a $10 per day contribution to the food, so the club budget doesn't totally bankrupt us. Anyway, that's what's up with field day. Coming up on Monday, of course, is the BCEPN lunch at noon. That'll be at Peter Pan Diner and in Oakland Park. That's on Oakland Park Boulevard, just on the south side, just east of the railroad tracks next to Dixie Highway. And that's it, because that's the 5th week of the month, the 5th Monday, the 5th Tuesday, the 5th Wednesday. We don't get a new month till Thursday, so oh well, that's the way it goes. Well, things will pick up again when we get back into February. Now, as far as field day goes, we will be operating Class 3O. That's O for outside. There will be 3 stations, and there will be 3 transmitters in operation. We're going to start with 1 designated for sideband, 1 for CW, and 1 for digital. We're also going to have a UHF station. If we hear activity on those bands, we will shut down one of the other stations and go VHF, UHF. This gets us more multipliers. Every band and mode combination is a multiplier. Anything that's, if you talk and it comes out voice on the other side, that's voice, including DMR or anything like that. Digital is everything except for CW. That uses a computer, and then you have CW is the remaining one.
CW is more.
We're not going to stick ourselves on a particular frequency
although we are going to try to, if we run any 2-meter FM, which we may or may not do, we're not going to do it on 146.52 because that is the national calling frequency. We will be somewhere else, one of the other simplex channels. We are going to be running 2-meter sideband down there, 144.2.
Sideband is encoding
sideband calling
scheme.
frequency, and up a little up from there, we'll be looking for 2-meter sideband, and if we can even find somebody on 70-centimeter sideband, we'll do that as well, and we'll try to pick up maybe some CW and
Basically, they're trying to just have a field
visual
day
contacts
where
on those two bands for some more multipliers. The rest of the time, we're going to be on 80, 40, 20,
try
15,
to talk to as many people as
10,
possible.
and 6 meters. 6 meters if it's open. And we're going to be, if 160 opens and we can get something that tunes up on there, why, we may even try that as well. It is forbidden to operate contests on 60, 30, 17, and 12 meters, so we will not be on those contests, on those bands. That's pretty much it. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's welcome. Come on out and join us for a good time. We're going to have a fox hunt. We're going to have
The fox hunt is where you attempt to
building.
locate
We've got
a transmitter.
Joe has a bunch of things up his sleeve.
Direction
that,
finding.
We're going to do, so it should be an interesting time. K4VH, back to that. Alrighty, thanks, Jeff, for
This is
the
NetControl
announcement.
coming
And
back
did that answer your question as well?
Asking me, Mike? Yeah, that's pretty much, that's good, except for all the simplexes. How do you know which simplex you're going to be on KO4 SYU?
Jeff, are there going to be simplex frequencies used? Well, like I said, if we run 2-meter FM, it will be on simplex, but it will be on simplex because there's other people operating there. So I can't tell you. It depends on where the people are. I think there's about 13 simplex channels we can use. One of them is a calling channel. I would not use that one, but I think we're going to focus on sideband and sideband digital and CW. We've got some sideband antennas coming in for 2 meters, and my Almo rig will be there as well. So, as far as picking a particular frequency and saying we're going to be there, can't guarantee that. You have to look around. That's part of field day, is find the stations. K4BH. All right, there you go. Dan, hopefully that answered your question.
Mike and Jeff, have a good weekend. Have a good time. I wish you good luck. KO4 SYU.
All right, thanks, Dan. Thanks for checking in. This is the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. This is Kilo Delta 4, Oscar Victor Papa. Let's go back to check-ins. Anyone with or without traffic? Your call sign and name, please.
This is November 4, Bravo, Uniform Golf, Coral Springs, Larry in Coral Springs.
Larry.
Recognizing N4 BUG. Good evening, Larry. How are you?
Good, Mike. Thanks for doing the net. Yeah, I think the other person was not really asking for a simplex frequency. I think he's looking for a walk-in frequency, a talk-in frequency. So if he wants to come and visit, he can find you where you're at.
Well, we will be monitoring the 610. 610 will be a talk-in frequency. I believe that's usually what we do. So somebody will be monitoring the 61 to give anybody directions in case they need it.
Roger that. Hopefully that helped out. Hopefully he's still listening. Okay, well, it's all yours. N4BUG, we're on the side.
All right, Larry, thanks for checking in. This is the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. Let's see if there's anyone with or without traffic, mobile, handheld, or portable, shorter time that would like to check in. Your call sign and name, please.
This is
A lot of people today.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Lima, Victor Papa, the other Dan, and Boca Raton. I got plenty of time and nothing for the net.
All right. Kilo, Quebec 4, Lima, Victor Papa. Good, Dan.
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Ned. I think all my questions have been answered. If not, I'll just spin the dial. AQ4 LVP.
All right. Well, that's what we're here for, to answer any questions that you might have that one might have. So no problem. Thanks, Dan, for checking in. Wow, that's interesting. We got 2 Dans, 3 Toms, 2 Bills. Interesting. Wow. All right. Anyone else with or without traffic, mobile, handheld, or portable, that would like to check in? Your call sign and name, please.
So many today. Jeez.
For FTL, Abe checking in.
He always checks in like right towards the end.
Recognizing W4 FTL. Good evening, Abe. How are you?
We're okay. We're just been listening here, and good net here, and hope everybody's good. And thanks for the check. W4FTL.
There are so many stations today.
All right, thanks, Abe, for checking in. Appreciate that. Anyone else wishing to check in then before we close? Wish to thank the Gold Coast Amateur Radio Association for making this repeater available to the Southeast Florida Traffic Net. Anyone having questions regarding the net should go to the contacts page of our website at www.seftn.net. This is Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Victor Papa closing the net at 6:26 p.m. local time. Thanking everyone that checked in. A lot of people checked in, and we appreciate that. And we invite your participation tomorrow at the same time and on the same frequency. Please stand by for a general net message to be passed, and we'll return the frequency to normal repeater use.
So the NetControl operator is going to create a report that contains the number of stations, how long the
all stations, please copy number 124, general net message number 12424, routine. Kilo Delta 4, Oscar Victor Papa. Check is 13, Margate, Florida, January 24. Going to all SCFTN members. Break for text.
That's like the header, the message header, and has a checksum in it.
SEFTN report, January 24, X-ray. Stations 19er. Traffic is 1. Time 26 minutes. 73. Break for signature. Signature is Mike. K84 OVP. End of number 124. General net message 12424. Anyone please care to acknowledge general net message?
Alpha Juliet 4, Juliet Golf, acknowledging the message.
Yep, he beat me to it.
Recognizing AJ4JG, acknowledging general net message 12424. Thanks, Half Moon. And this is Kilo. Well, before I do that, is there anyone else that would like to check in before we close the net?
This is why I have the ability to open and close the net multiple times.
This is KD4OVP, now returning the frequency to normal repeater use. Everyone have a great evening. And this is KD4OVP, and I'll be monitoring.
Time you did something, Mike, to take you for AYH.
No, I always repeat that, what Hope always says all the time, and I'll be monitoring. I'm sure Hope listens and she gets a kick out of it.
Doctor, on that, so what you doing on field day?
Well, we'll be with the Gold Coast Club, and we're going to be doing, I guess, different things. Mainly, we'll be doing the cooking. I'm the designated chef, and we'll get on the air and make some contacts. So we'll participate as much as we can when we're not cooking. So it should be fun. It always is.
If you're cooking,
So that was a net. That's the basic way that it flows. Net report, they're talking a little bit after the end, just a little bit of back and forth using the repeater like normal, but it's no longer a directed net. The net is done because the net was closed and returned to normal repeater use. Now, there's plenty of people that might still be on their radios at this time, or there's a field day coming up, so they're going to want to chat about it a little bit. Obviously, they're talking about, oh, I'm going to be cooking, blah, blah, blah. It's a phone party line at that point. They're still mindful of other people, so you're supposed to take pauses to let other people break in, recognize themselves. They also are required, all ham radio operators are required to identify yourself with your call sign every 10 minutes, within every 10 minutes or so. It can be less, but it shouldn't be more. So it should be every 10 minutes of transmission. So if I was transmitting, having a back and forth conversation, and I'm still using the airwaves, I would recognize myself. Obviously, all the people on the net don't need to keep recognizing themselves and checking themselves all the time because they're not transmitting. But if someone was doing a long announcement or something like that, or passing a bunch of traffic, they're going to need to identify themselves every 10 minutes or so. And those folks will identify themselves every 10 minutes. And you'll work it in almost like regular conversation. You would just say, this is Kilo Quebec 4, Juliet X-Ray India. Yeah, I'm going to be cooking this weekend, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. And then this way you get your identification requirement done as per licensing requirements in order to continue being a licensed amateur radio operator. So that whole process is the reason I'm building this application. I can type faster than I can write. It's clearer. It can be referenced, that sort of thing. Plus you get validations, all the stuff we've been building. I have found a few little bugs already. For example, I need to, just presentation wise, I'm not sure. I think why these are breaking through up here. Just those, it might be because they're a span. I might need to make them an inline block or something like that, play with the styles a little bit. I'm not sure why Mike came through twice. We might have to dig into that. And then also some of the licenses come back with their locations in all caps. Okay, that's cool. So we got to correct that. And same thing with the names. The names sometimes come through all caps if they're coming from the licensing authority. Should we keep them as licensed or correct them? That's a really good question. I'm kind of thinking we can use CSS or something on the front end to capitalize these properly. Hopefully it gets something like McLean correct. I don't really know. No matter what we do, it's going to be wrong in some way. So there's that. And then obviously I missed this one. I missed a few of them. We have to get editing working and time zones and that sort of thing. But overall, this was a much better test than I did last week with my previous approach to events. This is much faster. You saw I just immediately add stuff and they pop right on. Which brings to mind, in a normal scenario when I'm not zoomed in all the way, this might be enough, right? I know it should be smaller. You may not be able to see it now. But the question becomes, should this actually be sorted differently? Maybe we'll have to add some controls either floating around somewhere or right at the top, or you click here to change the sort, because it's oldest at the top right now. And that might be fine, but I no longer need this information right away. And I should be able to, we'll have to play with the styles. Maybe we can get the title here to remain. I think it's supposed to. It could just be because things are zoomed in. Nah, it's not staying there. So we'll have to play with that. And if it makes sense, to add the new stuff to the top instead of the bottom. But we will see. And then we have to get service events working properly in there. Lots to do, but this was a promising, at least to me, I thought it was very promising. This is actually almost usable, even barely usable. It's at least good enough for, like, it functions, right? Like, yeah, there's a duplicate here. I can't edit. That's not so hot. But a lot of things are working as expected, right? It's quick. It's responsive. Validations occur. I'd like them to occur in a little more async way. What's weird is that K4BH, I got the information from the license here, but for whatever reason, it didn't come up as licensed and valid. So we can dig through the logs, or I can just figure out what's going on here. We might have to do something where these get re-verified a few times if something goes weird. Hopefully that information is in the logs. If not, we'll have to try to reproduce it. But that was a net. That's with a ham radio net. That's a structured net, traffic net. Hopefully you got something out of this real world test. And thanks for joining me. And I guess we'll get back to streaming either later this evening or tomorrow as we work on improving this page, solving some of these little bugs that we found, and trying to make this application. Thank you for your time.